Good morning everybody, Sarah Campbell, clinical psychologist from Ascending Psychology. Today I thought I would talk a little bit about how to incorporate mindfulness more into our everyday lives. For so many of us, we are navigating such complex, busy and chaotic responsibilities. And I guess from a young age, many of us were taught that that was the way to achieve success, happiness and fulfillment. We were taught that if we set goals, if we remained busy, if we put our heads down, later on in life we would be rewarded with a sense of happiness or freedom or pleasure because we'd made the sacrifices and therefore would kind of enjoy the fruits of our labour later on. So why is it that for so many of us, these fruits, this joy, this freedom that we were all longing for hasn't yet manifested? Is it something wrong in the way that we're doing things? Do we need to work harder, do more, make more sacrifices? Or do we need to consider and reflect on some of the teachings that we were given as young children and young people? And think whether or not they're actually sustainable, whether that is the meaning of life and whether that is the way to achieve happiness and good self-esteem. Mindfulness and the practice of mindfulness is an interesting one and not necessarily consistent with many of our Western values in terms of our approach to work. The purpose of mindfulness that so many of us practice in a formal basis, whether that's through meditation or mindfulness-based exercises, is to be completely present in the moment without judgment and merely a curiosity to what it is that we are feeling, our bodily sensations, our environment around us, and allowing ourselves in every particular moment to be completely present in the here and now. Now for many of us, this formal practice, this meditation requires quite a lot of effort because our minds naturally dart between things that we've got to achieve in the future, things that we've got to do, and possibly things that we haven't done, regrets or things in the past that are still playing on our minds. So how do we then, outside of a formal practice, live a more mindful life? How is it that we can still fulfill many of our obligations, work commitments, family commitments, commitments to friends, in a more peaceful, more relaxed manner? How do we manage our minds and manage our bodies in a way where we can be present in the moment while still fulfilling our obligations? And for many of us, that just might include really simple exercises, a simple intention of knowing and checking in with your body and what it is, what sensations, what feelings, where you are at in any particular moment in your day. Getting out of the busyness of the planning and the thoughts and the ruminations and simply just sitting for a moment, slowing things down, grounding yourself in the moment and listening. What is it that I can hear? How is my body feeling? Is there any points of tension in my body? What's happening to my breath? Am I breathing from my belly? Is my breathing a little more shallow? How am I feeling, thinking in this particular moment? How can I slow things down a little bit so that I am here and present in my particular moment? And in that moment, how do I want to be? Who do I want to be? Which part of me will decide? Is there a moment to slow things down? Do I have to be so busy? Is there greater opportunity for rest? How does it even feel to contemplate that? For so many of us, the process of slowing things down can be irritable. It can kind of feel uncomfortable. It can almost feel stupid or silly, judgments that start to come in. What's that about? What's going on? Have I become so addicted to stress, so addicted to busyness, that the idea of proceeding in a more peaceful and relaxed way seems unachievable, unattainable? And what's it like just to practice through that, to observe that, to notice that with curiosity in a gentle and compassionate way? What part of me is thinking like that? Does that part of me need anything? Reassurance? Maybe just to be observed, to be noticed, to be acknowledged. And in that moment, just to bring myself back to the breath, bring myself back into my body, to the sensations both within me and around me. Knowing that sometimes this busyness, this stress, the adrenaline, the cortisol, all the things that are pumping through us are a habit, conditioning. And maybe in every moment we can still be doing and be present at the same time. And in doing so, just being aware of the different parts of you that might have something to say about that. And deciding, do you need to do anything with them, or can they just merely be observed and acknowledged? Before you proceed with the next thing, the next task, the next responsibility, in the same gentle, kind, and curious way. The two things don't have to be mutually exclusive. You don't have to be busy or in the present moment. How can you be doing and present all at the same time? Have a little think about that. Might be interesting just to observe the different judgments or perspectives that come up for you, and to consider whether there is a way of approaching life in a more mindful, aware, grounded, and peaceful state. Have a wonderful Sunday. Be kind to yourselves, take care of yourselves, and we'll speak again soon.